I've been working on this motherfucker for, I feel like, well, I don't feel like, it probably is, hell, I don't know, 5 months? But every single time I get down to the last little step, something breaks. And I gotta replace it. But maybe today is the final day of guitar repairs. Well, upgrades. When I get into this guy, I don't know if you can even see it with the way my hands are, but when I get into it, I'll show you what I've done. Kind of explain it maybe. I'm kind of learning myself as I go. But this is just a Squier Strat. It was originally, shit, 120 bucks. That was like in 2000, probably 2001. It's my first guitar. I basically modded it just to see if I could. Changed out the pickups. They're like, I think they're called Tone Masters, but they were reviewed as basically a cheap version of Seymour Duncan's. And when the guitar itself worked, the very first time I modded it, it sounded great. And then out of nowhere, I started getting a big fuzz, which means that there was a bad ground somewhere. So I got into looking for that, and then I found it and fixed it. But then my volume pot, which is what is they call the thing on the inside, it's this, that controls your volume, it went bad. So I replaced that, which wasn't that expensive. And then when I replaced that, I just did a whole new wiring harness for the inside of it. Because, hey, I mean, if it's not expensive, may as well just do it all. So I did. And then I got to the very last step. And this tone pod broke on the inside. I'll show you. That's what I'm replacing right now. My solders look good. But this guy right here, see how it's wiggling? It broke, and the volume won't turn on, the tone won't turn on it. I tried to kind of go in and really fix it, but it wasn't fixable. I'm just gonna show you kind of what happened to it on the inside. And if somebody watches this video and they're like, well, you shouldn't have done that, you stupid idiot. Well, I'm learning, so be constructive with your criticism. I'll listen to it. You fictional piece of shit. Anyway. Like normally you wouldn't do this to take the pot out, but I'm just doing it just to show you. But that happened. And when I was playing the guitar, this was just like shaking around. This won't stay attached to the inside of this, so it kind of freely spins and doesn't actually change the tone. And you can see the actual knob itself is damaged too. So anywho, I have a replacement. you could see all that. Oh, here's the replacement. And so help me God, let this be the last thing I have to do to this guitar for it to be upgraded the way I want it to be. And then I can move on to wasting my money on something else. So let me just remember what we got going here. Ground. Shouldn't be too hard. Boom, boom, and boom, boom. So just undo this and undo that, and remember where they go. So now it's time to heat up my soldering iron, as Christopher Walken would say. It's a horrible impression. And I've also found when you start doing this stuff, I got a cheap soldering iron to start out with. Don't do that. It just breaks. It's not worth the shit. It's not worth it. Just don't do it. Just go ahead and spend a pretty decent amount on a good one because it's worth it. All right, I'll let that heat up. Let me go wet this sponge because I'll need it. So what I did was replace the pickups. Typically a Seymour Duncan, if you got like, you know, legit, the awesome ones, they're like $100 a piece. These were $92 for all three. I replaced the channel select, replaced the volume pot, two-tone pots. I'm gonna add a treble bleed, which is right here. I just haven't done that yet. Get this fucking cat hair off of it, Jesus Christ. So the treble bleed, I'm gonna install it, and what it does, I have to solder it. I believe it's on the volume pot, but I'll have to YouTube it to make sure. But what it basically does is, for some reason with Stratocasters, whenever you turn the volume down, you lose that treble. And that treble's like that, you know, really nice, clean sounding twang to it, kind of. When you turn the volume down, it also turns the treble slightly down, so you kind of lose tone just by turning the guitar down. Well, this treble bleed stops that from happening. And also, they come up with just badass names for guitar shit, you know. Treble bleed, fucking big muff, distortion. What else is a good one? Shit, I don't know. You get it. Stratocaster, Telecaster Deluxe, Epiphone Casino. It's just cool names. All right, so I'm waiting on this to warm up so I can remove the old piece of shit broke shit. And just in case I forget, it came with a wiring diagram, which, well, it's upside down. So, anyhow, it's not difficult, just kind of getting soldering down was a little tough, but now that I got it down, it's not bad. I'm sure as soon as I say that, I'll fuck up royally when I start doing this, but we'll see. So I'm gonna go get something to protect the paint on the guitar as I solder. I don't want any pieces of solder flying off and just landing on the body. And just like, you know, burning a small hole in it. Got too much shit on the table. I don't have to cover the whole guitar, just a little piece of her. Part that I'm gonna be working with so I don't fuck up. So first, instead of just putting your soldering iron right on the spots, you kind of want to, I think they call it temper it. It's got a name for it, but I'm basically coating the end of the soldering iron with the solder. And this seems like it burned through the plate, but it really won't, because as soon as it melts, it'll just cool off immediately. So there, we should be good there. This sponge has got some water on it. Do a little dippity dap. It looks clean on the tip. Hit it in this mesh, kind of get off any extra stray pieces. So we're actually not gonna hit the wire itself. We're gonna just hit the actual tool and just kind of pull, and then once she's off, she's off. Come on now. All right, so we'll do this. My God, I did a good job. Let's revisit that guy. Here's that one, super easy. I tell you what. Oh yeah, the end of it's bent, that's why. Work smarter, not harder. There, so we're done. So I'm gonna kind of clean up the end of this wire here so I can redo the solder on the next one. And I have excess wire, so this is like not a big deal to lose it. I always run more than I need in case of mistakes. Okay, so, hello. Let me strip this. Push back the cloth shielding. Same thing over here. Shitting me. Let's have everything I do be harder than what it should be. Thank you, God. Okay. Snips, go on. Hey, get it. There's a new bag. I gotta go fucking sit on it. And I'll take a pair of scissors, cut off this excess. shielding just to kind of get it out of the way. Which it won't really matter as long as I don't solder a bunch of cloth to the connection, but I mean, it'll just burn anyway, so it won't matter. But it looks a little cleaner. When I first opened this thing up to mess with it, I mean, it was like a Frankenstein. They had like, stuff wasn't screwed down, it was zip tied, it was crazy. But this was like one of the first Affinity Strats they made. It's like made for people to learn how to play guitar, which is what I used. I love how I bought a bag of oranges and my cat's like just laying on them. I'll just start cleaning myself on top of these oranges, you know, fuck it. God damn it. Okay, so that looks good. I think we're all set there. So now I'm gonna put the pot in place. Let me move this 480 degree soldering iron before I accidentally have to go to the hospital. So you just kind of push this guy. Oh, first remove the nut in the washer. Excuse me. All right, so now that I have it in place, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it down so it can't really move. I'm gonna kind of move it away from this transistor here. See, now I caught it. This fucker was trying to fuck me too. Where are my pliers? I'll grab that. Well, I have a backup on it. It looks the same, so I'm gonna leave it. I was thinking this right here probably didn't need to be up. It needed to be bent down, but it looks good, so I think we're okay. I'm the king of use a tool, set it down, forget exactly where it is. More like it disappears off the face of the planet. So we're just gonna tighten that feller in there so she'll stay good and stationary. Notice I said feller and she'll. Doesn't identify as either male or female. Let's see if I can make this stupid fucking video political. That'd be cool. Okay. So then what you do is you immediately forget where the wires were supposed to go. Like you look at it and you go, well, fuck, I don't know. So then you pull out your handy dandy chart, you look at it, and you see it's upside down. From your channel select, the second wire is gonna go to the first prong here. So we're just gonna get that fella in position. And then I'm gonna get my pliers and kind of bend the wire a little bit so it'll hook in there. I've seen several different ways people do this, but I just get the wire in the very, very tip of it. Just give her a bend like a hook. And then kind of drag her over. Realize it's not exactly long enough. I got plenty of wire. It'll be fine. We'll get it there. I'm gonna have to use Walter. This is Walter. Hello. Hey, how you doing? God, I'm a fucking loser. Okay, so get Walter lined up there. So now it's touching. Let me see if maybe I could zoom in and show you. I mean, it's just barely touching, but that's all that really matters. See? Right there. I'll leave it zoomed in right there while I solder it. Oh yeah, snips, yeah. Triple check your chart, make sure you're doing it right. Second cable, first prong, got it. Got it. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and wet soldering iron. So you just kind of hover it over it and have the shakiest hands imaginable. And once you get a bead, you drop her on there like so. And that's it. I mean, it'll dry immediately. And that's a fucking good ass solder. He ain't got himself no education. He's got himself a trade. R.I.P. Early Kyler. All right, so the next one. Snips, be quiet, please. Second tone goes to second. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. We can get rid of Walter here. I mean, it's snug. It's going nowhere. It doesn't take long at all. Let me trim a little bit of these fuzzies. They bother me. I'm sure if anybody stumbles upon this, they'll be like, "You did this wrong, you fucking moron." Let me give the internet a suggestion. Just be constructive. Just say, "Hey, you may want to think about doing this. Have you thought about doing that? I usually do this and it works out. You're making it a little bit harder than it has to be. Here's a tip," instead of "you fucking idiot, god damn," you know? That's the end of that little rant. Going to the second one. And I don't think I'm gonna need Walter for this one. But I am gonna make a hook so I can get it in there easily. Snips, I'm gonna give you a treat in a second. I know it, it's a terrible world we live in. The world of a house cat. All right, so we're in there. Looks good to me. Same process as before. We are soldered. So now we'll put it back together and hope for the best. Move, Snips, move. Ugh.